We all will agree that Panama Canal is one of the most remarkable feats of engineering ever achieved by men. Its sheer size tells a beautiful tale of human endurance, determination, and accomplishment. But do you know everything about the Panama Canal? In this video, we will take a look at 10 important Panama Canal facts. Everyone knows that the Panama Canal was built by the United States of America. But very few know that work was in fact started by the French. It was Mr. Ferdinand de Lesseps, a French diplomat, who first started the work back in 1881. The work had to be stopped in the year 1894 because yellow fever and malaria claimed the lives of an estimated 22,000 workers, and spending nearly $287 million bankrupted the French diplomat. The leftover work was undertaken by Americans in the year 1904 under the able leadership of Mr. John Frank Stevens and later Major George Washington Goethals as chief engineer. The Panama Canal work was completed in 10 years. It was on 15th of August 1914, full 2 years before the target year of 1916, when the Panama Canal was officially inaugurated. As per the records available, the first ship to cross Panama Canal was SS Ancon. She was an American flag cargo and passenger ship owned by Boston Steamship Company. She was about 150 meters in length, 18 meters in beam, and about 9,600 gross registered tonnage, and drew a draft of about 8.8 meters. Panama Canal has reduced the sailing distance from Atlantic to Pacific and vice versa by a huge 8,000 nautical miles. If we sail with an average speed of say about 50 knots, then it will be 22 long days. On the contrary, it takes just around 8 to 10 hours to cross the Panama Canal. Panama Canal not only saves money and time for owners and ship operators, but in fact it helps in saving huge amount of CO2 emissions and thus helped the shipping industry to reduce its carbon footprint. Panama Canal authorities calculate tolls by using a system called Panama Canal Universal Measurement System, which is based on the International Standard of Vessel Measurement established by International Convention of Measurement of Ships 1969. To determine the net canal tonnage, a mathematical formula is applied for calculating the total ship's volume. Net canal tonnage is 100 cubic feet of volumetric capacity. Then, depending upon whether the ship is laden or in ballast, the appropriate rate is applied. Warships and other naval auxiliary vessels are charged on the basis of their displacement tonnage. One displacement ton is equivalent to 1 long ton or 35 cubic feet of salt water. For practical purpose, a typical IMO Type 3 chemical tanker of around 50,000 deadweight ton in laden condition pays around $250,000 in toll, whereas a fully loaded container ship of 8,000 TEU with Neo-Panamax size of 100,000 deadweight ton pays around $500,000 in toll. There are a total of 5 locks in the Panama Canal system. 3 old and 2 new locks under expanded Panama Canal. If entering from the Atlantic Ocean, the first lock is known as Gatun Lock. It is a 3-step flight which lifts or lowers ships 85 feet above the mean sea level and opens to the Gatun Lakes. After crossing the lake, the ship reaches Culebra Cut. Then comes the Pedro Miguel Locks. It is a single-step flight which lifts or lowers ship 31 feet above mean sea level. Pedro Miguel Locks then lead to Miraflores Lake. to exit the Panama Canal into the Pacific Ocean. The final set of locks are known as Miraflores locks. It is a two-step flight which lifts or lowers ships 54 feet above the mean sea level. All Panama Canal locks are in pair so as to ensure, at least in principle, for ships to pass in opposite directions. The main purpose of these locks is to ensure that the Gatun Lake does not flow outwards to the Atlantic or the Pacific Ocean. This ensures that there is sufficient draft available at all times for ships to pass. Locks work on the basic principle of gravity and flotation. The height difference between Gatun Lake and Pacific and Atlantic Ocean causes water to flood and empty the locks through culverts. Huge valves are used to control the flow of water into the locks. The entire system is managed by a control center located at respective lock gate. When lock gates flood, the ship which is floating inside lock gate rises with the rising water level and then enters the consecutive lock gate for further rise. The same technique is used to lower the ship by emptying the lock gates. Under the new expanded Panama Canal, two new sets of locks were built, one each on the Atlantic side, that is Gatun locks, and Pacific side, which is Miraflores locks. The gates operate differently than the old ones and slides horizontally to let pass the ship and comprises of lateral water saving basins. These basins helps the lock to be filled and emptied by gravity without the use of pumps. Every year, the ACP or Panama Canal Authority issues notice giving details of size and draft limitation for vessels intending to transit the Panama Canal. With the opening of new locks for commercial traffic since 26th of June 2016, there are different requirements for ships transiting old and new locks. Old locks are referred to as Panamax locks, whereas new locks are referred to as Neo-Panamax locks. As of now, the maximum draft for Panamax locks is 12.04 meters tropical freshwater and maximum draft for Neo-Panamax locks is 14.2 meters tropical freshwater. It is a known fact that Panama Canal is one of the most important waterways in the world. To ensure continued safe transit of vessels, there are very strict regulations which controls the entire transit system of the Panama Canal. Canal transit should be booked via the agent, who would also send the list of pre-arrival documents. These documents are required for vessel clearance upon arrival. Vessels arriving the Atlantic or Pacific anchorage are required to contact the port entry coordinator in Cristobal or Flamenco signal stations on VHF Channel 12 before the transit takes place. Upon arrival, Panama Canal Authority inspectors board the vessel to carry out pre-transit inspection. It is important that all bridge equipment, steering gear, mooring winches and associated equipment, main engine and various other auxiliary machines are working in good order so as to avoid any delays or rejection during ACP inspection. Navigating the Panama Canal can be challenging. Though Panama Canal pilots are known for their thorough professionalism and skilled navigation, still the whole responsibility for safe navigation lies with the ship's master and crew. Special care should be taken, especially when the vessel is in the lock and the lock gate opens. The sudden gush of water creates an effect which local pilots call the hydraulic effect. This pushes the vessel astern and full main engine power is required to maintain the position of the ship. During the transit, the forward and aft station duty officer should be in constant communication with the bridge. They should also keep a constant communication with the mules, which are electric locomotives of the canal, and act more as brakes and to keep the vessel in the center of the lock. It is interesting to note that Panama Canal Authority appoints few honorary pilots generally masters who have successfully completed 100 transit through Panama Canal. In recent time, Captain Sanjoy Sen of Wilhelmsen Group received Honorary Panama Canal pilot's license back in 2015. Commodore Ronald Warwick, master with Cunard liners, who has commanded RMS Queen Mary II, was awarded honorary pilot by the Canal Authority for crossing the canal for more than 50 times. Although presently the Panama Canal is the only canal between the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean, there is also a proposal for another canal which would cut across Nicaragua. It is known as the Nicaragua Canal. Back in 2016, the President of Nicaragua announced his intention of building this canal. In 2012, the government of Nicaragua came together with Hong Kong Nicaragua Canal Development Investment Company, signed a MOU for development of the canal. However, the Hong Kong Nicaragua Canal Development Investment Company became bankrupt after 2015 and 16. In spite of this, present government is committed for construction of this canal. If ever this project becomes a reality, it may give Panama Canal a serious competition. Reading about the Panama Canal facts gives one just a glimpse of this magnificent piece of engineering marvel. Panama Canal is a true beauty which can only be captured and felt by actually sailing through it. Do you know any other Panama Canal facts which we missed in this video? Let's know in the comments below. If you have any questions or suggestions, please drop your comments below and we will get back to you at the earliest. If you like this video, please subscribe to Marine Insight channel and press the bell icon to get notified when we post such amazing videos. Please like, comment and share this video, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel.